Alright, so I'm going now with putting on the leader lines to the notes. So I'm going to copy I'm going to copy the one of the dimensions, and notice here when you take a dimension it comes in as a block because everything comes together, right? The extension line to dimension line. So I'm going to explode it, enter, so that I can now remove the line here, and the dimension figure, excuse me, and I am going to put now so I'm going to move or copy my leader line, put the tip of the arrow. What I want to show is alright, I prefer to do it. This is my ridge board. So this is my ridge, so I draw the line. Where is my line? Where is my arrow? So I put it towards the middle here. Where is it? You see, they want to show me to show a particular point. So what I will have to do is, alright, I will have to rotate this. Rotate. Draw it vertical like that. Right, I rotate it and then I'm going to move. So I'm going to move this, take it from the tip, and I'm actually showing my ridge board. So the ridge board is this particular line. So that arrow actually wanted to show a particular line, right? So just let's follow. So it comes from here, and I want my note to come from the ridge board to the notes. So I want to draw my line like that, and then I'm going to fillet it. So it's the same thing like how you place notes on for biology and so on, where you don't have notes crossing each other and so on. So the same procedure here. When you're doing the corrugated metal sheeting, you will have your corrugated metal sheeting, and you will have your arrows to come to show your corrugated metal sheeting and so on. So that is how the notes and so for this will look. And you put in all the other necessary. Your second sheet is sheet 2, and then you have so you had floor plan, and then the next one will be the roof plan. So I'll guide you with the other aspects of this, but I want you to be able to dimension, put on your notes, and so put on your arrowheads. Remember to finish your corrugate, not the groove ply. So try and finish a groove ply, and then you would trim off and so on, so you make it look good. So make sure you have your proper layers and so on. So that is how you go about doing the roof plan. If you have the hip and valley, you will simply have a little more notes. One will say the hip, and so 50 millimeters by 150 millimeters hip rafter, and the same size for the hip jack rafters and so I'm going to guide you with those, but at least go ahead and put in all of your necessary notes and all your captions and so on that will accompany that drawing. Alright, so I'm going to extend this here now. Extend, back to extend this, extend this, extend this. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to copy all of these here now. So I'm copying all of these, enter. Then I'm going to take it from a corner point, and then I'm going to go to this corner point. Make sure it go to the correct corner point, and so on. So what you will have to do is to clean up whatever extends on the outside of the zigzag line, and you're going to fix that up. So you're going to go here again, corner here, right, this one, corner here, and then we trim off. So some of them will require for you to trim more than others. All right, so you trim off, and so that it stays within the zigzag line, because that's a portion that you, I think, right, so I think there's a portion that you indicated as your ply, so you cannot go outside of that. So the others you can erase, right? So that's basically how the pattern here should be done. Do not let one pattern run into another, so you don't have pattern here that's running back into here, so you may have to do some cleaning off and so on. All right, so you'll have these. So I just want to move now to dimensioning. So I'm going to go to annotate, dimension, linear. I'm going to start from my longest point. So that's my longest point. This side is my longest point. So I'm going to zoom endpoint here to my endpoint now. Use your same layers that I taught you, the blue and so on. Your distance is 1000. Enter. So you have your first dimension line. All right, then you do continuous, and then we go to the next endpoint. Next endpoint, escape. Then I do my total endpoint to endpoint, and that distance will be 1000. Hold on. Try distance to be 1005. Enter. Why that one line there? When they undo. So endpoint to, I may have to pick straight here because I think so. Pick, and we go up 1005. Enter. Right. I don't know why mine's clicking in the bottom there, but yeah, so that's how this one is done. Let me just go back home and take out this. I don't need this pattern here anymore, so I'm going again, annotate, endpoint, so I have to go back and fix this here. I don't know why it's going there. Endpoint 1000, enter. Right, next one, endpoint to here, because there's another turn here, or another corner I should say as well. 1000, enter, and I do continuous, and I select this point there. Right, next. So use your same colors. You know the dimensions are blue, and so I need to erase. Let me go back and take this off. There's something end up right. So you're doing dimensions on all four sides. So you go in dimension, annotate, dimension, and this one I have for my longest point here, so I pick there to here. It's up. Actually I should take this, sorry, let me take it from this point here first. So I take it from this point, endpoint to endpoint, 1000, enter, and then I do continuous. So that continuous will take me from here, endpoint. Notice I also have this point here, so I go from here, endpoint to this endpoint. So this may not apply to everybody, so it's based on your design, right? And then you have your total So you do a total, you can go from so I'll start from this point because I find when I did it where I took it from there, I wasn't getting it. So 150. So that more looks like it. And then you have the same thing happening here on this side. So each side, even if it's the same dimension, you do 2 dimension lines on each side. Right, so once we finish with that, we're going to put on the note. So I'm going to go into go to down arrow, we go in single line text. Remember we did single line text, counting single line text. All right. Oh Lord Jesus, what did I do? All right. All right, so single line text. It should be popping up there. Oh, I think because it's I probably have mine already set. Oh, sorry, right, text. So you go in here, you will put in the height. So the height of the text is 150. So let me do that again. So I'm going here, single line text, right? And then we go down into text, slanted arrow, right? And then we're going to put in the height. Our height is 150 for the height of the text, 150. All right, you set as current, yes, and then we close, right? And then you're going to type in the information there. So the picture that you took on the board, that's what you're going to use. So that's the different names of the rooms. I'm going to pick my point. Right, so I select my points. Right, and then I'm going to type in 50 millimeters by 150 millimeters ridge border. I'm gonna put some cap lock. I have my light on, so ridge border. Right, that's not a B. I can't. Right, so ridge border. Once you finish with that, you pick somewhere else and you type in what else you need. Next point you need pick and type as well. And then once you finish, you just X off this. Now it will be smaller, so don't expect it to be like this. And then what you will do now, we will take our notes here now. So you take the notes, and each note you are going to put them. Let me draw a line first because I want my notes to align. It is always neater when you align them. Alright, so I do a line like this, and then I bring my first line. Look, I put my first note is on the line. The next one you're going to just go and move, and you're going to move it on the line. Right, I only did this, but so you have all the notes here. Now I'm going to copy, I'm going to copy one of the dimensions. This is a continuation from our last lesson. So in our lesson previously, we looked at different members of the roof. We looked at the rafters, which are those that I have in yellow. We have the fascia board, we have the ridge board, it's the one in the middle. And now we're looking at our framing, we're looking at the sheeting that we're going to use, which is a corrugated metal sheeting. And then we'll also be looking at the groove ply. So for the groove ply, we're showing that our roof has to be sealed. Now I'm going to start off with the corrugated metal sheeting. And corrugated metal sheeting is basically galvanized, and we're going to do a hatching. So we already did our section to show our corrugated metal sheeting. That is followed by the zigzag line which shows a portion off, not the whole thing, but we're showing a portion off. So we're going to go into hatch. Mine is already loaded. However, if you go in the down arrow, you will go and look for line. So I have minus line. Before I apply line, I have to put a scale to it. So I will be using a scale of, I'll use 600, and my angle is 90. So I already had mine set up. So you most likely will see 0 there, so you put it as 90, and I'm using 600. As I said, different computers will give you different resolutions for how it would look. So once I do that, I'm going to apply. Now the reason why I use a 90, because my vertical lines, or I should say my corrugated metal sheeting, should be in the same direction to that of my rafters. So it must be in the same direction. So hence my corrugated metal sheeting is done vertically. Now if your roof was done in the opposite direction, then your corrugated metal sheeting would have been horizontally. But always remember that it follows the same direction to that of the rafters, sorry. Alright, so I'm going to move now to our groove ply. So this is another section area here, which we call another zigzag line, to show that this roof has to be sealed with placing ply or groove ply on top of the rafters. So to do so, I am going to take out, so I'm going to go back to home. Now the size of my ply is 4 feet by 8 feet, which is 1002 by 2004. So I need to offset those distance, but if I have to offset the distance, what you will notice here, because we had poly line, we already did mine before we started, but your poly line here, if you have to offset your distance, your poly line will continue. So we have this line will be continuing with this line, the two internal lines, but mine is already exploded. So if yours is continuous, let's say if it's still poly line, you're going to go into explode, and I'm simply going to pick the poly line, the inside line, and then you will get them separated as you've seen here now, right? But it was not separated before. So now I can offset my distance. I'm going to offset. The ply is 1200, 1200, enter. I'm going to go from that inner line, I'm going to go up 1, that's 1002, 1002, and I do as much as can be placed within that section of my zigzag, 1002. Now if I were to offset another 1002, it may fall outside. All right, so I have enough here. So now I'm going to trim. So I'm going to trim this off. I'm trimming off on my zigzag line. I may need to trim off this piece in here. I will need to trim this piece here, and then I'm going to erase the other lines. So I take this off, press, erase, erase, erase. All right, next direction. So remember we just said that the ply is 1002, which I offset 1002, 1002, and so on. Now if you have a very small space, you may not be able to show as much as you've seen here in my drawing, right? So because I have a bigger section, I'm able to see this much. So I'm going to offset now the 2004. So 2400, enter, and this I'm taking from the internal line, and I'm going to offset now 2004, 2004. So notice where mines fall. So I'm going to go again, and I'm going to trim this off. I'm going to trim here because remember your ply must be done in courses. So I have these two accounted for. Next row here now. So I'm going to offset. So I'm going to offset again, 1000, 1200, enter. This time I'm taking it from the internal line and I'm going this way. Right, I'm going to trim this off because remember it should look like a kind of brick effect. So take this off and I trim this part here, and then I'm going to go offset again, 2400. Remember the ply is 4 feet by 8 feet, and I offset here again. So that I will need to trim off this piece of line, and I could erase the others. So I now can erase here, and I will also erase this red line here because this red line came out from the top, the bottom there. Alright, so that's, oh, I still have to trim. I have another piece I need to trim, this piece, right? So this here is my ply, 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 and so on. Now what I'm going to do is I need to show a symbol that will represent my ply board. So I'm going to go in Control 2. Control 2. So Control 2. Oh, sorry, I was doing the wrong thing. Control 2. So I'm going to take the table, right? So you're going to go in where you get in your sofa and these right? So you just go and get your table and you put a table on the side, and then you're going to X off that, because what we want here is a pattern, right? So this is a pattern of border. So I'm going to copy this here now, but to copy this I am going to explode it. Why am I exploding it? Because I need to get, there's a pattern here I need a pattern to apply to this area here. So if I had to take it as is, we will get the entire table, which would be a little smaller than the area for the ply. So let me just move this closer so that you will see. So I move this closer and zoom. Right, so if I were to copy this and put it here, you notice here it's a little smaller than the ply, right? So I need to explode that again, explode it. Now when I explode it, I'm able to take only some of the patterns. So what I can do, copy now, and I'm taking only the patterns, not the entire. So I'm copying this, pick enter, take it from an end point here, and then I'm going to go to this end point here, right? So that's a pattern here. Then I'm going to go here, take the pattern, the corner here, take a pattern there, here. I'm going to take the pattern here, or what you can do is to fix one pattern and then you can copy the others. So let's say I want to so let me see if I want to fix this pattern here. So I could copy now. Let me copy some of those because I need to cover my bases. Alright, let me just move this. So copy. So I take about 3 of those, take it from this line and then take it straight. Let me put back perpendicular on, and right, so I take it back on this line. So notice here I still have some other pattern and thing I need to show. Let me see if I could extend it. Some of them you're right, so some you could extend, right? So you could extend them. So it might be